Okay, we're going to take a minute to look at the slip and slide technique. So this is starting out when we have a trinomial where the number in front of the x squared is not a 1, so something different than a 1. So that would be when we have a times x squared plus bx plus c. So where you've got a number here, a whole number there, whole number there. So what we're going to do is you'll take and slip a to the end of the trinomial and multiply by c. So we'll take this 2 and multiply by the negative 9 to get a negative 18. Then we're going to factor. And so when we factor, I'm going to look for something still that multiplies to get negative 18 and adds to get a positive 3. So looking at my factors of 18, I've got 1 and 18, 2 and 9, and 3 and 6. So of those, and since the front is positive, I want a bigger positive number. So if I do 6 minus 3, that's going to give me the 3 there. So I'd have a positive 6 and a negative 3. And so let's go ahead and write our binomial, but this will be kind of an in-between because we're not done yet. So I have x plus 6 and x minus 3. Okay, now we have that 2 that was up front. So what happens is if I do the FOIL method or the box or my double claw to multiply this back out, when I do x times x, I'm not going to get 2x squared. So what I have to do is I'm going to divide both of these back terms by this 2 and slide that 2 back out front if my fraction won't simplify. So this becomes x plus 6 over 2 and x minus 3 over 2. Now when I have x plus 6 over 2, that'll simplify down to x plus 3. But for x minus 3 over 2, that 2 is going to slide up in front of the x. So that becomes 2x minus 3. And so all you're really doing there is multiplying this term by 2 to get 2x minus 3. But you can just think of it as sliding that denominator up in front of the x. So let's try a couple more examples. I've got 3x squared minus 8x plus 4. So I'm going to slip that 3 down with the 4 to give me a positive 12. I'm looking for something that multiplies now to get to 12 and adds to get to negative 8. So I've got, 3 and 4, 6 and 2, 1 and 12. And they're both going to have to be negative. So if I do a negative 6 and a negative 2, then that'll work for me. So I start out with x minus 6, x minus 2, and then I need to divide those by a 3. And so when I do that, negative 6 over 3 will simplify down to x minus 2, and then negative 2/3, that 3 is going to slide up in front of the x to get 3x minus 2. And we're factored. Let's check that real quick to make sure. So if I do my FOIL method, do x times 3x would give me 3x squared. X times negative 2 would give me a negative 2x. Negative 2 times 3x would give me a negative 6x. And negative 2 times negative 2 gives me a positive 4. And those two in the middle combine together to get me a negative 8x. And I've got exactly what I started out with. So there's a lot of different methods we can use, but this is just one of them. Let's do one more example of it before we're done. So I'm going to slip this 6 down with the negative 6 to get a negative 36. And I need factors that have a difference of 5. If I have 1 and 36, 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4 and 9. Looks like 9 and 4 are going to have a difference of 5. And so my larger number needs to be positive. That makes smaller number negative. So I had negative 36, a positive 5. So 9 and negative 4 were my numbers. So x plus 9 and x minus 4. Don't forget the last step, because this is, when I multiply this out, remember I won't get that front term. And back term won't work out either. And so I need to divide everything by 6. And so what will happen is it will simplify a little bit. So 9 over 6 becomes 3 over 2. 4 over 6 becomes 2 over 3. And so the denominator will stay back there, or the numerator will stay up there. Denominator will slide up front. So that will become a 2x plus 3 and a 3x minus 2. And remember, you can always do your multiplication out to double check it. So if I do the first one, that's 6x squared minus 4x, then a positive 9x, and then 3 times negative 2 gives me a negative 6. Those two combine to get 5x, and it works out just like it's supposed to. So there's your answer right here. And that is the slip and slide method to solve trinomials that have a factor of something other than 1 in the front.